Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. Today it's all about the earth of sorts. We are back on the Zoom today with John Kine. He is a volunteer with the Clarke County Litter Committee. He's going to give us all of the details for Clarke County's Earth Day. They're going to be celebrating on April 25th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Clarke County Fairgrounds. And John, I'm so excited to have you back on the show. This is a topic that's somewhat near and dear to my heart. And as you were telling me before we started recording about some of the things that are going to be happening that day, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to go hear that. Oh, I want to see that too. It looks like it's going to be a pretty fun day.
It's a very packed day, Jen. And first of all, thank you for having me on again, because this is important. And the whole goal here is to beautify the community, help VDOT so they don't have to spend money to pick up the trash, but also it's an environmental thing, right? There's so many factors involved here that make it a very worthwhile group that we have here, and a lot of great volunteers. But for the Earth Day, it's April 25th. It's at the Clarke County Fairgrounds from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So in that time, there's going to be a 1-hour litter pickup. So people want to join at 9 a.m. It kicks off with that. Of course, it has to kick off with that. That's what we do. So you start there, and then we'll have speakers. Ed Carter from the Virginia Department of Transportation will come and talk about the Adopt a Highway program, which is, of course, very important. If you want to come help with us because you don't have the time, whatever, it's a way to do it on your own time. You can select a part of a road, pick that up a couple times a year, and it's appreciated. So there's that. There's the Clarke County Animal Shelter will be there accepting donations. They need kitty food. They need adult dry cat food. There's things like that. There's going to be a bunch of different vendors there displaying what they do. And if you want to volunteer for their groups, you can sign up there. Blandy Experimental Farm, the Northern Shenandoah Valley Masher Gardeners, the Shenandoah River Keepers, among others, will be there. So that's going on. For kids, there's going to be face painting. There's going to be a glass bottle crushing demonstration by Christy McMullen, our chair. And she does it every year. It's very popular. She crushes it. You make sand right there. It's really cool. So that's another thing to go on. There'll be live music. There's going to be a food truck there. We have a packed day, but hopefully something for everybody that you can learn something about other clubs. You can learn about us, and then help a little bit contribute to the community.
I think it makes it so much easier for you to sneak in that education for people, because sometimes coming to an event like this, they go because it's fun. And then they
Right.
realize, oh, wait, I could actually put a rain barrel in my house and it's not as complicated as I thought it was. They learn
Right.
these things that they wouldn't have known otherwise.
And that's the one thing I forgot to say. There's a rain barrel demonstration, how to use that and how to capture the water and basically recycle the water for benefits to your property. So yeah, there's all sorts of things too. And it's not just about, hey, let's clean this area around us. It's about learning about other ways to help, whether again, recycling water or other things, but also to show the community the depths of the groups in this community for which you can volunteer. And there's a lot, because people who go there tend to want to be involved in the community. And so there are a lot of different ways to do it. If this doesn't appeal to you, maybe this group does. So I think there's just a lot of ways to get involved. And I think that's the big thing. And for us, we're always looking for volunteers. We do a lot of pickups. We do a pickup just about once a month, and always appreciative of volunteers. We obviously would take a lot more, but if what we do, if you can't squeeze it in because you have kids and you have activities on Saturday morning, I get it. There are other ways to help with that. Like I've adopted a highway out in Berryville, and I pick up the trash on that road a couple times a year. And then also other roads around us, I'll go out and pick up because it just looks bad and it's just a blight on the environment. So there are other ways you can do it if you can't help with us. And that's what we're trying to just educate people on and help them get to the point where like, oh, I could do that. It doesn't have to be 3 hours. It could be 30 minutes down your street.
And that's the one thing too that I think is also a huge misconception, is that people think if they can't do something big, then it's not beneficial or helpful at all. And this is a good way to show them you can do a bunch of little things and a bunch of
Right.
small things that then add up when you have 100, 200 other people doing the same thing.
I'll tell you, Janet, I do a lot of biking in Clarke County, and beautiful country roads, right? It's beautiful to go biking out here. It's one of the reasons that attracted us to moving out here years ago from Centerville. And you go on these roads and you see trash. You see trash. And it's just hard because I'll ride, I'm like, oh, I've got to come back here and pick this up. Oh, I've got to come back here. Then I'm like, could somebody here, if they see this, could they just take this small stretch spend 15 minutes, get a trash bag, pull your car over and just get it. And it doesn't solve all the problems, but at least it helps this section. And that includes like the other thing we don't even get into is last year we had a speaker talking about the impact, like if there's trash down by the river and it gets in the river and then that gets to the livestock, it can impact the livestock. So there's a lot of different impacts on the environment just because of the trash, in addition to the fact that it's kind of rude to do that. But that aside, you can make your area look better and you can help farm animals and other animals be in a better shape. But you're right though, that to me is what this is all about. Can you just walk down your street like, hey, we'll go out, take the kids for a walk after dinner, bring a bag, put a few things in there. It doesn't have to be full, but if you do a little bit, every little bit helps. It doesn't have to be, oh, I got to go 3 hours on a Saturday morning. It can be 20, 30-minute walk. You're out with your dog. You're out with your kid. You do it with your kid, you're now setting an example for them to follow. And I think that to me is one of the key points that others have made. It's really about trying to get the younger generation more involved and see if this is important and why.
I had a conversation with someone a couple of years ago, Justin from up at the Smithsonian Conservation Research Center for Front Royal's Earth Day, Lone Pine Day, I think they call it there. He was talking about all the kids' activities that they have at theirs. And it dawned on me that when I was growing up, we had programs at school like Woodsy the Owl,
Right.
who give a
Yep.
hoot, don't pollute. We had these things at school that taught us while we were in school about the value of keeping our environment clean and not throwing trash out the windows and all of those kinds of things. And I wonder if maybe they've gotten away from that. And so it's harder for kids now to really understand why that's not a good thing.
That's exactly right. And don't forget the commercials too with the Native American shedding a tear as he sees somebody throwing trash on the road. You're right. That was what we grew up with. And I definitely remember Woodsy the Owl. So we're trying to get a little bit more involved in schools, finding ways to get kids involved. Like, for example, if people drive around Clarke County, they might notice some colorful signs that promote keeping Clarke litter free. We had a contest in the first year we did this or so, I think it was the first year, where contests with kids in the great elementary schools, they designed all those. They came up with the slogans. We took what they did and we put them on signs and put them around the county. So that's a way just to introduce the thought about litter, right? And what can you do? We are sponsoring a scholarship for the high school students for college. That's one of the ways we're raising money for that, to hope to have a yearly scholarship that gets people thinking about that. But those are high school kids. We really want to also reach the younger kids. And so I'll be going into the school late April to talk to some kids about this and find ways to get them involved. But that's only one small section of the earth that we can do that. But if we can do that in Clarke, that's a big win for us. You know, Janet, it's hard to get everybody to be involved. But if you find a couple kids who can become then more involved, more interested in it, then you've reached somebody that can help. That's the goal here. But yeah, that has been a challenge and a constant topic for us, is like, how can we reach a lot of the younger students? And then they can then influence their parents.
Right. You get the kids to say, hey, Mom, you're not supposed to throw that stuff out the window. Or, hey, Dad, can we stop and pick up some of that trash that's over there at the park? They become a powerful tool.
They do. And I gave this example when I was on the show last year, but it also always rings true to me when I was doing a volunteer pickup in the park at Clarke County over by the baseball fields. And I picked up this one cup, and there were two women who were there. Their first comment was, oh, we've been waiting for someone to pick that up. I said, well, my mom always told me, if you see something you know it should be picked up, pick it up and throw it out. And they kind of were like, whoa. And it wasn't said in a threatening way, just matter of fact. I said, well, I'm out here volunteering my time. And we started talking about that, and they were nice about it. But the whole point was, well, why didn't you just pick it up? And you know where they were waiting for someone who worked for the park to do it. That's not their job. Their job isn't to keep it clean. Their job is to maintain fields, do all this. But the other part to that is, what if one of the other kids had been, oh, I see this cup, just pick it up. And that to me is even better, because now the kids are showing the adults, they're modeling the behavior. One thing for people to know, like when you do the Adopt a Highway program, VDOT's job isn't to pick up trash, but it's something they have to do because there's a lot of it. And there's some roads that are really bad. They've spent, I think a couple of years ago they collected 350,000 bags of trash. That's a cost of $9.3 million to the state. The more people help out with picking up the trash, like adopting a highway, I think every bag is around almost $30 worth to the VDOT. So we go out in the pickup and we pick up 10 bags, that's several $100s VDOT saves. Then they can devote more time to what they're really supposed to do, which is maintain the roads, etc. So there is a trickle down to all this as well. So if you want better services from VDOT, help out and pick up the trash. It may not feel like, oh, I only picked up 2 bags, it's only $54, $55, but it adds up. If 10 of you did that, now we're looking at more, and then you do that every so often, there's a trickle down effect that is very beneficial.
Let's take a break. When we come back, can we talk a little bit more about some of the things that you're going to have there that day?
Yes,
And then also how people can learn more about the Litter Committee and join you on those Saturday mornings? Can we do that in the next segment?
absolutely.
We are on the Zooms today with John Keim. He is a volunteer for the Clarke County Litter Committee. We're talking about Clarke County's Earth Day happening on April 25th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Clarke County Fairgrounds. We're going to get more details about that when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
This Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. She doesn't know that yet. All she knows is that she went to justserve.org and volunteered an hour of her time. Browsing through dozens of service opportunities in her community, April decided to spend her Tuesday evening serving dinner to mothers and their children at a transitional house. She doesn't know she'll be serving a particular mother and daughter who will be spending their first night in this home. April doesn't know that the hot meal she'll serve is the first this mother and daughter will have had in a week, or that the simple smile she'll offer as she serves them will help them realize that things are going to be all right. Which is why this Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
To the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. We are getting all the details today about Clarke County's Earth Day celebration. John Keim is on the Zooms with me. He is a volunteer for the Clarke County Litter Committee. The event happens, John, on April 25th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Clarke County Fairgrounds. And there's a lot of learning and a lot of fun stuff people are going to be able to do that day.
This is our third full year. I think we technically was our fourth year, but the third year of a bigger event. And it's grown each year. And each year there's more and more people show up and more vendors become involved. And people, I think, start to look forward to it because it is an event and it's not just about us. It's about engaging the community and finding ways for people who want to be involved can get more involved because there's a lot of ways to do it. I don't think people realize how many groups are in this area, and some of it extends beyond Clarke County. It's not just about Clarke County. You can find other ways to impact. I mean, the Northern Shenandoah Valley Master Grinders, that's not just Clarke. Shenandoah River Keepers, not just Clarke. So there's a lot of other groups that will be involved beyond the Clarke border. So that, to me, that's what's part of the fun part in seeing this grow is that. And then there will be a raffle at the end. There's a raffle, there's a silent auction. So some fun things to get to, but it really is about engaging the community and finding ways to get involved.
It's a perfect opportunity if someone's listening today and they're like, wait, Shenandoah River Keepers, I've always wondered what exactly they do and if I could be of any help. This is the opportunity to come out and talk to them and learn about it. You told me during the break, Blandy's going to be there, Blue Ridge Wildlife Center, some of these places that maybe you wouldn't necessarily think of, you're now going to have an opportunity to talk with.
For sure. And I think that's, like I said, the beauty of it, because there's a diverse group of vendors coming. And so I think that's, again, the fun part to see what is it they're about. And you can learn, you can bring your kids to learn about them too, because the places you just mentioned are really good for kids. So that is, to me, one of the fun parts of this. I know we really appreciate how many groups step up to take part in this. And again, like we collaborate with a lot of these groups at times to do things like, okay, you're doing this, we'll come help there, or they help us. So there are ways to collaborate with other groups that, again, just because it's that feeling, if you want the feeling of community, this is a good way to do it. If you're looking for a way to be more involved, maybe for me, my wife and I, my kids are grown. Back in the day, Janet, I would be coaching most Saturdays, whether it's basketball, flag football, baseball, whatever it was. So you didn't always have the time to do this. Now I'm looking for ways, how can I help my community? And this is the way. And so I think if others are in that same position, your kids are older, you're looking for something to do, and you get to meet people. But there's a lot of ways, like if you're interested in this, you can find this. And I think that's one of the beauties of this event.
The other upside to that, when you're talking about that scenario in particular, is I think sometimes people worry, yeah, but I can't do 2 hours every
Right.
Saturday. Well,
No.
you can come and do as long as many times as, or as few times as you can, because this is one of those things where it's not set in stone how much you have to do, how often.
Correct. And there are many examples, Jen, of many times like I can go there for an hour today and I'm on the committee. I have something on that Saturday. I have to go out of town. I have to do this or that. And other people like that too. Hey, I can come till 10:30 because my kid has a game or whatever it is. If you can come for 20 minutes and help, that's fine. Or if you have 20 minutes on your own, I don't have 20 minutes, a half hour that Saturday, but I can go on Sunday morning in my neighborhood and do this. And I know others in my group have done this too, but you can go on your own. I've picked up trash on other roads and it feels really good to see the finished product. It's kind of like I like to paint in our house, right? When you finish painting a room, it's nice to step back and looks like that looks clean. That looks good. It's the same feeling when you're picking up trash on the road. You've contributed to the area. You've made it look better. You've helped prevented maybe some issues with wildlife or whatever, right? And you're picking up trash that just does not belong where it's at. And for whatever reason, it's there. But if you see it, you can go pick it up. We have a list of, it's like once a month for us. So there's a list of dates. If people want to check it out, I can tell them where to check it out. But it's once a month. And if you can't do it then again, is there a way you can do it on your own? And usually the answer is yes. It's just a matter of finding time. And I don't want to tell people what to do with their time, but if you have an hour to give, but it's not at that time, then maybe you can find another hour where it does work for you.
Well, you mentioned earlier too the story about picking up the cup at the park. My husband does that when he takes the dogs for a walk. He carries with him his little poop bags for the dogs anyway,
Yes.
but they also come in handy to throw a couple of things in here or there as he's walking the dogs because he's already doing that anyway and he's already got to stop for the dog to sniff. So it doesn't take 30 seconds to reach down and pick up whatever trash. You can do it while you're doing other things.
That's the reason I'm on the litter committee, because it started exactly like that. So we live rural, right? And so my wife and I would go walking every day and you'd see this stuff and it was kind of driving me nuts. Like, wait a minute, I have a bag here. I can just put the stuff in the bag. And we've collected hundreds of those little bags over the years. And one time there was somebody running for supervisor and they came to our house and they asked about what's the big topic for you. I said, there's too much trash. And they're like, well, we're starting a litter committee. Would you like to volunteer? I'm like, well, if I'm going to complain about it, yes, I'm going to take part in it. But there was one time, Janet, where one of our neighbors like, well, the trash is only bad at this end, not that. And I said, yeah, that's because this is where my wife and I walk the dog. We don't walk them way over there, so there's more trash over there. But that's the benefit of it. And it looks so much better than what it was. And I just always wonder, what would it look like if we didn't do that? Because it just accumulates. And I've seen what it looks like on other roads. And it's frustrating because like you'd like to see all the roads clean for a variety of reasons. It's just better for the community. But yes, how your husband, what he was doing, that's how I ended up. That's the first step in the process of me being on this committee.
I joked with you too when we went to break that to me, it's like running the vacuum. So because we have dogs, we only have one room in our house that has carpet. And after I run the vacuum and it's clear and free of dog hair, I literally close the door for 20 minutes so I can stare at it and see,
Yeah.
that's what it looks like when the carpet is the carpet color and not the dog hair color. Hopefully, when people are driving down a road that doesn't have trash, it gives them pause to
Right.
throw something out their window or dump trash there. So you're hopefully doing kind of a double whammy good thing if you're just picking it up.
Absolutely, because you do notice there are certain times where there's spots on the road where they throw the trash there because they see it already there. So it's like, oh, this is the area I can throw it because there's already a number of trash items there. A couple weeks ago, after we did a pickup, I went over to Summit Point and right by 340, and it was bad there. It was getting really bad. So I picked up a couple bags, and what you hope is, Janet, that one, people see what it looks like, the finished product. Don't take it for granted. If there's some busy, more trafficked areas and you see it's clean, it's because somebody was out there picking it up, whether it's me, someone else from the committee, or just a community member who is just anonymous. Because I've seen those folks too. I've been out on a bike ride, seeing people pick stuff up, and I always stop to thank them because you appreciate that. Somebody's giving up their time to do it. But on the Summit Point Road too, what you also hope is that there's a lot of cars going by. Do they see you doing that? And then maybe does that trigger a thought in their head, oh, I can do that too. Like I have a half hour to go do something like that. So that's also part of what you're hoping. And there's a lot of us who do that. I think there's a lot of people who do that in this area. I think people are very cognizant of some of this, and especially in our committee. But that there is the trickle down is you see it clean and it makes you think twice, but it should also make you think if it's clean, it's because somebody was out there picking it up. That's the only reason, because otherwise it would be trashy. And so hopefully it makes people think twice.
If somebody's listening today and they want to learn more about the Clarke County Litter Committee, how would they do that?
Google Clarke County Litter Committee, you go to the government website and we're right there. If you want to, you can email us at litterfree@clarkecounty.gov, and that's CLARKE county.gov. And on the site, you'll see when our pickups are and what times they are, where they are. It's like I said, it's about once a month. And if you want to become more involved, there's a way, but just checking it out is great. Whatever you can contribute is fantastic. And even if you're doing it on your own, that's fine. There's a lot of ways to help without being on the committee. Our goal is to raise awareness for what we do to hopefully influence others to then do something along those lines. But yeah, you can, Clarke County government, and then litterfree@clarkecounty.gov, you can email us.
And they can come to the event. Give me the details for that one more time.
So at the Clarke County Fairgrounds, April 25th, 9 a.m., it starts with a litter pickup. It goes till 2 p.m. And you can check out, you go to the website, you can check that out there about the whole times and dates. You'll see signs all around town advertising it. But yeah, between 9 and 2, there's gonna be a lot of different events. Again, the rain barrel demonstration, glass bottle crushing demonstration, raffles, vendors talking about their groups, face painting for kids, all that good stuff. Silent auction at the end. So a lot of good things going on, Janet.
I will keep my fingers crossed for a beautiful weather day for you.
Yes. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And thank you for having me on again.
I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, a few minutes after noon. So meet me here then.